Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Think about it. We'll get into everything that we're going to get into as we go along, but I got to rant real quick.
But why would you throw out an inexperienced pitcher in a game you're still close in? And I don't care what the record is, you show up for a fucking rivalry game. But he's actually talking to him constantly. That is a sign of a really, really good coach.
It's the ToddFox Post-Game Podcast with your host, ToddFox.
Because the only thing I want to yell is, fuck! Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is a Saturday. Hope all is well, but I can't believe that it is. If you're a true Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk like me, then shut up! No, really, it's a bad Saturday. Let's just face it, because we're in Houston, and just like Tom Hanks said in an Apollo 13 movie years ago, Houston, we have a problem, and it's been a problem since 2015. It is now 21 games under 500 we are as a team in the city of Houston. Since 2015, 23 wins and 42 losses since 2015. Our last winning season was 2014. Go figure. The year we were last in the postseason, we were 6-4 in Houston that year. That's the best record we've been able to sport since those assholes came over to the American League. Now, with that being said, it's 714 tickets. Before I get into my rant here to start the day, as the Angels lose 9-6, of course they do. We'll get into 714 tickets, 10% off code just in the apply now. You also get 5% off towards a future purchase. You can keep using the code over and over and over. If you like rock concerts, sporting events, do it. Halos in the Infield is the way to go. Put HITI in that apply code now. Also, check out Noble Ale Brewing after the games, before the games, and watch the games there. You get drink specials courtesy of just mentioning Halos in the Infield. Now, with that being said, what a loss. Actually, another day, another loss. And right away, I should have did this as a poll. Are you guys tired of hearing this every 5 seconds? Oh no, the Angels gave up another home run. Oh no, here, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani's day on the mound today. Or no, let's show you that he almost hit for the cycle for the 6th time. Or check this out. The pitcher, hey, look at Joyce's highlights from the last couple times out there throwing 102 miles per hour. Hey, he hasn't thrown a pitch under 100 miles per hour, quote Randazzo, although he already has done it twice. We'll get into what kind of clusterfuck that was, but they'll be like, hey, the umpire got hurt. Let's hear from Jack in the Box. Hey, Gooby, what day is it? It's Tuesday. Let's get into Gooby Tuesday. Ask some stupid questions. Hey, someone infiltrated our booth. It's Reggie Jackson. He's not here to talk to us or tell us anything else but to get on camera and sign autographs and ignore Patrick O'Neill. But enough of Bally Sports West being bankrupt and sucking major ass. That's the least of our problems on a Saturday, right? No, the Angels are 3 games into a 4-game set with your Houston Astros, who came over to fuck our lives over since they've arrived to the National League. They've done nothing but hurt us. They are the ones that we're trying to report to the police and say, hey, you know what? They hurt us. They touched us. Well, you know what? They've touched us and abused us more often than any other team in the majors as they continue to own us. Single in the first inning by Jose Abreu. Now, if you watched my pregame show, because I took over for James, who's been effed over at work, I apologize to him. I want what's best for him, but two guys quit, and he's covering up the slack. That's how it goes. That's America for you right there. So what happened is, I said in the pregame show, Jose Abreu sucks balls. Been one of the worst free agent signings this season. He's playing as bad as Rendon as far as production-wise, actually worse, because at least Rendon has a hitting average. This guy's batting .213. I said, watch out for Jose Abreu, because we like making shitty players look good, and look what he did. First inning, bottom of the first, we can't hold the lead. It's 1-0, or can't even get the lead. Shohei Ohtani. And if you want to put it on here, and I should have put this in the poll, and I hope you guys are responding to the poll as far as what is the biggest problem for the Angels. And I will get into the comments and everything else moving forward. But what I want to tell you and what I want to ask your opinions on is, what is a bigger problem? The Angels not able to get a shutdown inning, or just the fact that, they don't adjust. It's one of the two, because there's so much to talk about in this game, because Shohei Ohtani triples, Renifo scores. You're thinking, okay, 1-1, 1 out. You got Trout and Ward up there, a chance to take the lead. You should take the lead. Just make fucking solid contact. Don't pop out in the infield. You can even ground out, Trout. You can even ground out, and you should score Ohtani. He strikes out. Then Ward comes up. He strikes out. Again, whose brilliant idea is to put a struggling hitter like Ward in the 4 spot? What is the issue with not only Madden, but we saw it with days with Sosha. Sosha really started this with putting Trout in the number 2 spot. But what is the problem without? Why do we need to reinvent the wheel? Major League Baseball teams have been doing this for years. Ever since I started watching it, playing video games, always you had a good leadoff hitter in your lineup. If you want to play it video game styles, this is how it always went. Leadoff guy who's kind of fast, scrappy type dude, has occasional power, gets hits, gets on base. Number 2 guy, sort of like a Gio Urshela, a table setter, gets on base, can work a walk, not too much power, but decent hitter. And then the 3rd guy is probably your best player on the team, or 4th guy. And saying that we have 2 of the best players in the league, it would make sense to put those 2 at 3 and 4. We have not seen that kind of combo since the late days before Mike Scioscia tried to play with the analytics a little bit, when he put the meatball sub down and he started to actually pay attention to actually analytics. So we have not seen a 3-4 of back-to-back of Trout and Ohtani in some time. It's always, we got to put Trout at 2. Makes no fucking sense. You could say, well, New York does it with Judge, and they get production, but they still have Stanton. They still have other guys who are powerful to put back in the 3, 4, 5 spot. Angels don't. Yeah, they have Rendon, but he's sputtered out. Walsh was just still trying to see if he could regain his power. And Renfroe, you could put there, but they refuse to. They refuse to put him in the 4th spot. It's like, 6th spot. 5th spot. It's like, what are we doing? And it continues with these dumbass lineups over and over and over. So that inning, the Angels left again with, you guys want Trout to be there. I want Trout to be batting with runners in scoring position. There's your chance, buddy. Did nothing. He went 0 for 10 until he got an RBI single later, which we'll talk about. Now, as far as a manager making the right moves, as far as a manager who just seems to do everything right, whether you like him or hate him, toothpick or no toothpick, Dusty Baker with his obviously too tight jersey with his belly showing. I can relate to that. But anyway, he's there making these calls, like as far as, hey, McCormick didn't play the first 2 games. I have a good idea to play McCormick this game against the lefty Sandoval. Put him out there. Who cares? Let's rest Tucker, because that makes sense. Now, they don't rest Tucker against most lefties, but against lefties he actually struggles against, then they take him out. Not just like Nevin, where Nevin's like, nope, a lefty's starting, Moniak can't hit. Let's just keep him cold. Let's not even use him. But, oh my God, Ward, you've been on the bench for 15 minutes. Get your ass on the field before you hurt yourself. Get your ass out there before you forget how to play. The obsession with Ward, it just continues. I'd rather have seen Moniak in there this series. Again, you're saying, well, he's gotten a few hits this series. He still looks flatter than a pancake. Still swinging at stupid shit. Still striking out. Now, he had a good at-bat where he was rung up in the first game, but again, he has not been hot. You had a hot guy, and you sat him, and you allow him to be cold now. You've relegated him back to the bench. You're a fucking idiot. Now, Dusty Baker plays his percentages, puts McCormick out there, big game. Got it done. Came through with an RBI single, was 2-1. Fourth inning, Yordan Alvarez, a guy who continues to kill us with Sandoval struggling. It's 3-1. Not looking good. Same inning, bases loaded, a couple miscues, allow bases loaded. Again, in this series, in this house of horrors that we call Houston, you can't give extra outs, yet the Angels give extra outs. In the house of horrors that we call Houston, they will get all the breaks, the seeing eye singles, the balls that drop right in front of Trout, the balls that go down the line, the balls that clank off the wall. We don't get those. We get the hard hit balls just foul. They hit the Texas leaguers that just stay fair. We hit the ones that just go foul. Our line drivers are right at players. Right at the Honduras guy at second base, right at Abreu at first. It doesn't matter. We hit it right to the goddamn fucking outfielder. And whenever I see a ball hit into the outfield, and it's been like this all season, I think you guys can agree with this one. It's a line driver or a bloop. It looks like a bloop single. It's going to drop. I see an outfielder start to get into that mode where he starts to lean forward and make that diving attempt. I'm like, oh, he's got it. Today was like the first day in a long time where I saw the dude in left field, Bunker or Bulker or whatever his name was, or Junkler. He missed that one in left field and it was a double. Other than that, most every time I see an outfielder start to dive, I'm like, that's caught. We do it, drop, miss, falls in front of us. It's been one of those seasons. It has been one of those seasons. Oh, hold on. I got to take a commercial break. Okay, we're back. Oh, wait. We got a sponsor. Noble L Works. Oh, 714 tickets. This is a clown show. So our boy Alex Bregman, who's been relatively quiet this year, coming off injuries, not having the best season out there. They relieve Sandoval, too many pitches. You know, he's got the bases loaded. Tough jam right there. He's not going to make it out of the fourth inning. We bring in Webb to try to get out of the inning. Now, here's my thing. Is that the right call or is that bad placement by the pitcher? Webb threw a get-me-over fastball to probably one of your best fastball hitters on the team. Deposit it's in the left field stands. Practically game over, right? No. There is fight to this team. I will say that. This team would have laid over or rolled over, bent over, took it hard, like Fernando likes to say, a gigolo in Buena Park. But that grand slam made it 7-1. And last year's team would have lied down. This would have been 11-1 final. However, Renfroe homers and every 30 seconds after the homer, hey, remember that power. And it was just Randazzo's gotten that fungus. It's just now he's talking about every time the Angels are within striking distance, hey, get a couple guys on, you got power. Hey, remember when Renfroe hit the home run last inning? They don't stop. They really, literally don't stop. So 7-2 at this point. Shohei Ohtani then went double on a fly ball off of the, like I said, Corey Julks. When Corey Julks is dominating you like he did the other night, you got problems. Renifo scored. Soto to third. You had second and third right there. 7-3. Wild pitch scores a run. 7-4. Then Bola. Wow. Mike Trout. He's been hitting like tripe. Mike Trout comes through. RBI single. Finally, he was 0 for 10 in the series. Again, great players are measured by what they do in the postseason. Screw that. What has he done against Houston? He's still the GOAT. You can't take that away from him, but he singles in an RBI, much needed. It was 7-5. Okay, now let's pause it right here. Houston up 7-5. You're within striking distance. You're battling your way back. We've seen the Angels do this although the whole year. We've seen them scratch, kick, and claw and come back. We're right there. What do? We blow an opportunity to score more runs. Okay, fine. Close the book on that inning. 4 runs is pretty good. We're back in this game. Can't hold it for more than 10 minutes or less. It's right back to one of the main problems on this team. Back to the whole, we can't get a shutdown inning. Just can't do it. It's impossible. It's not in our DNA. McCormick automatically, after, well, actually Ben Joyce, that's right. First batter, McCormick, another brilliant decision by Dusty Baker. And number 2, real quick, what do teams do when they get tape on other players? Oh, that's right. They go to scouting reports and they do video conferences and they sit down in a conference room, I should say, and the players that are playing that day, or even whoever wants to participate, before they hit the batting practice, they actually study film. Wow, that's interesting. Because a guy that, again, we were praising, and Bally Sports was praising about, the guy's unhittable. He's got 102, 103, and even Randazzo's breaking it down to 103.2. That's the fastest. Okay, it's been done before. You've seen this from Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman's been hit, and I tried to tell some of you, when he comes up, he's going to get his lumps. All these rookies will. And I'll go over the stats of Bachman. These guys aren't perfect, but they're going to hone their skills. But right now they're going to get hit. Now, kudos to the Astros, their film crew, their coaches, for making sure that their hitters were waiting on that fastball and practiced on that fastball. Kudos to them doing that. Major F and a major fuck you to our own staff that let our boy and set him up for failure, meaning Joyce. They failed him. They failed him because there was none of this talk about, hey, we need to have, throw some of your other pitches, mix it up. I saw nothing but fastballs. There was nothing but fastballs. He didn't throw anything. Yes, that's 102 miles. I mean, he had one pitch that had sick movement that rised up on someone on a strikeout. But other than that, Gooby called it. All Chas McCormick had to do was put the barrel on the bat, and that ball flew out. The speed of that pitch just coming off the bat was enough to put it one row into the seats. Tough luck, Joyce. A couple more hits by the Honduran Marcurio Dubin. It's 9-5. Again, second time in this series, third time on the road trip, that again you muscle your way back into a game just to let all the air out again. Now, this team is resilient, but they have paper-thin skin when it comes to adversity at times, whether sticking up for their own players or trying to score runs and come back and try to hold their composure. 9-5, that was it. Ninth inning, though, they had a brief rally. Wild pitch scores a run. Ohtani over to third. Tying runner on deck. Because, again, how many times did you hear in about 6 or 7 minutes when Theis got into the batter's box and had a decent at-bat that, hey, if he can get on, Renfroe can come up. Did you know he homered earlier? Let's play the tape. You heard that over and over. And it's like they played that over and over in that ninth inning instead of focusing on Theis just getting on base. Just get on base, Theis, and we'll see what happens. But if you're begging for an opportunity to have the bases loaded or at least the tying run on base, and the only thing you could say is let's tie it up with a home run. Instead of hey, he could hit a home run here, but any kind of hit keeps the inning going, keep the merry-go-round going. Because, again, like I said yesterday, in one of those segments where they wanted a grand slam down 5-0, let's just say you hit that grand slam. Effectively, you scored those 4 runs. You're still down a run, and guess what? You just ended your rally. So in the pitcher's mindset, whether they take him out or keep him in, hey, just don't let anybody else on. Don't give up another home run. You get out of the inning, you're still leading. Brand new inning. You forget about that grand slam, and you shut us down. I've seen it before. Me, I'm on the other hand, I'm the guy that says, okay, let's rip a single, score 2, and then try to hit the other way, score another one, maybe sacrifice over, utilize an extra out you have, try to drive in a couple more, keep the inning going, and then what if it makes it 5-3 at that point, and then the next guy magically gets a hold of one and hits one out. 3-run homer, you're all of a sudden in the lead. instead of just playing for the quick and easy grand slam, the quick and easy gratification. That's got to stop too. Because if the commentators who work for the team are saying it, that means they're preaching it in the clubhouse. And you can see it with the launch angle. In fact, right now, I don't even want to see that fucking home run hat anymore. It's not because we're not hitting any home runs. It's like it's not doing anything to get us wins. Because right now, I hate to say it, and I was going to put this in the polls, but check this out. This right now applies to us right now. Listen to Roger Lodge logic right now. And keep in mind, the Angels were 5 games over 500, trending up and looking good. Now we are 30-30, and as of right now, the standings as we speak, updated to the second here in the Sports Lodge. The Angels are now, with the Rangers pounding the living shit out of Seattle, they are 2 games up on the Astros. The Mariners are 7.5 out. We are now 8 games out. The wild card. You would say, oh, that's okay because we're in the wild card. We're only a game out, right? We're tied with somebody. No. There's too many goddamn teams that are better than us. We're 4.5 out of the wild card already. We are drifting quickly. And a team like Houston, over the years, has done this at particular times to us. When we're really right there on the cusp of either making a move forward and making progress, we hit Houston. And you know that old saying, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. No. We hit Houston. Each loss is 1 step forward, 6 steps back. Because not only do they beat our ass, and they make us look like we don't belong on the same field, because we make all the errors, we strike out all the time, we make solid contact and hit everybody, like we hit right to everybody. They don't hit it to anybody. They hit the home runs. They get all the calls. They get all the breaks. Everything always goes their way. They get the clutch pitching. They get the clutch hitting. We don't belong with them. It takes the wind out of our sails. When we do rally, it's like, no, you guys thought you were back in the game? Fuck you. That's your best young pitcher? Fuck him too. They take us right back out of it. And it's depressing. Because you as an Angel fan, me as an Angel fan, can see this coming from a long way away. And I haven't even brought up that we're getting out-coached on a nightly basis. And not just from Dusty Baker, a Hall of Famer. He out-coaches us easily. Lineups, just by lineups, he out-coaches us. But it's all the other managers. Your first-year guys like Schumacher in Miami out-coached us. Even in the White Sox series, that manager who the players hate was out-coaching us, and somehow we won 2 out of 3 because he sucks as a manager. But he still out-coached Nevin. And it's been like that all season. And how many times on here have you said it and I've said it, man, I really thought Nevin was turning the corner. I thought this was going to be the guy. He's not the guy. And then that's not even, I mean, there's so many things. That's why I put the question and then I hope you guys continue on that poll. I'll get to the results before we get to phone calls as far as, what you guys voted for. What is it? Is it Artie? Is it the management? Is it pitching? Is it the hitting? What is the biggest problem on the Angels? That's what I want to know from you guys. But moving forward real quick, let's get into the stats, and I got to give out the awards before I hit the comments. We got a lot to talk about, apparently. A lot of people want to have a lot of things to say. But let's just check out here as I want to get into our and there was it's a shame. I mean, again, Mariners, they got thrashed today. Fernando was there. I'm sure he's going to talk about it when he calls in. So the batting for today, 4 hits for Ohtani. That's a wash. Nobody cares now. It wasn't a loss. I mean, you can care if you're Bally's, because in Bally's you could just be like, hey, we lost 3 in a row, but check out what happened yesterday with our boy. Let's go to the highlights, shall we? And then they're talking over the music as it plays with Ohtani hitting all those hits. Trout had 1 RBI, but 2 major strikeouts. Ward was pathetic with 1 hit and a strikeout with guys in base. Theis went 1 for 4. Renfroe hit the home run, but don't tell Bally's that. All they're going to do is show the home run. Walsh was pathetic at 0 for 4. Renifo had a good day, 3 for 4. Soto 0 for 3, but he did score a run late in the game. Angels went 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, left another 8 men on. And again, here it is. Great coaching, clutch hitting. Say what you want to say. But again, this is another loss. And I told you I was going to do the homework on it, and I'll get it. I'm going to get it tomorrow. How many games have the Angels lost with double-digit hits? Again, Houston, 9 runs on 12 hits. Very efficient. Angels, 6 runs and 12 hits. Usually that's okay, but they were gifted like 2 or 3 of those runs. So those don't really count under the runners in scoring position. So again, unless it's a Trout hit or the Ohtani hit, the other runs were gifted to them or on sacrifices. Those weren't hits with runners in scoring position. So let's get into the Astros. Dubon had a nice game, 2 hits. Pena had a nice game, 2 hits, 3 runs. Bregman, big day. McCormick, big day. And Maldonado. Again, if you watched the pregame show when I came on here, I said, watch a guy like Abreu come through with a hit, which he did. And I said, watch Maldonado. Watch us make him look good. 2 more hits for Maldonado. I swear to God, against the rest of the league, Maldonado's like probably a 130 hitter. Against the Angels, he's probably like a 340. It just happens over and over. It's pathetic. And what did the Houston Astros do with runners in scoring position? Gee, I don't know. 6 for 11? Not bad. Over 55%. 6 for 11, and they still left 9 guys on base. You see the difference between a well-oiled machine like the Houston Astros and let's just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks, Anaheim Angels of California, of China, in the county of Los Angeles, maybe? That's the big difference. That is the big difference. And that is just not today. That was yesterday. That was the day before. That was in Chicago. That was home against Miami. That is a continual thing that continues. They cannot hit with runners in scoring position. They do not move runners. They do not bunt. It's the same tired record. See, last year's tired record that we kind of blew up was the fact that we couldn't hit. We couldn't get a hit because we didn't have a lineup. They were a bunch of shit fucks. And Trout and Ohtani. That was it. That's all we had. So this year it's, hey, we're getting hits, but all of a sudden everyone forgets how to fucking hit or adjust, holding a bat, shortening the swing, and actually thinking inside of that box. Dusty Baker gets those players to think, gets those players to hit the way he wants them. And it's not always going to work, and we know that. The baseball, you fail 70% of the time if you're good. But you put your players in the best possible situations you possibly can. You don't make it worse for them or harder for them. And I feel that philosophy does that. He hampers this team. He hampers everything that goes on in the bullpen as well. Just throw a couple off-speed pitches, Ben Joyce, and I guarantee you Dubon doesn't foul off 10 of your pitches. They were all waiting on your pitches. So whether that was you calling a pitch, which I really doubt, or Theis getting the call from the bench where he said, oh my God, it's another number one. Hey, Joyce, throw number 1. That's all they were getting. There was no off speed. You're not mixing. I mean, dude, again, see what happens with any other pitcher. Throw the number 1 sign up there and see how many times he gets tattooed. I don't care the kind of movement. If you're expecting a fastball, these are well-trained, well-paid players, the best in the world out there. They're going to catch up to your fastball. I don't care if you throw it 105 miles per hour. It's how and when you throw it and where you throw it. Because if you're mixing up your pitches and he relies on those off-speed pitches, I guarantee you he strikes out the side. But philosophy took over again today. Now let's get into the awards. I'm sick and tired about talking about this team. The John Stamos Award for the best team or best player on the field will go to Alex Bregman. Yes, Alex Bregman. Again, a guy who's been struggling, 7 home runs coming into the game, had some injury issues, been not really hitting all that good, hitting 240 or 250 before. About 240 before this series. Well, lo and behold, he's up to 251. He had 4 walks today. So again, he went 1 for 1 officially with a grand slam, took the first pitch he saw from Webb, put it in the seats. But it was mainly the fact that he was able to walk. That's your player of the game. Putting yourself on 4 times, giving yourself and your teammates an opportunity to score a run. That's an all-star in my book all night. That'll be the Stamos Award right there. Let's get into the nacho night.
All the chips, all the cheese, all the refried beans, all the onion and tomato and the guacamole, all the beef and jalapeno and the sour cream, all the nachos.
With the exception of one pitcher out of the bullpen for the Angels, it was a forgettable night as far if you were a pitcher for the Angels. Soriano just called up today, went an inning, gave up a walk, but got a strikeout, his first ever strikeout. So kudos to him. Hats off to you. Ben Joyce, I thought, was left out there by our boy Matt Wise, who I'm going to start getting on as well. If I'm putting a spotlight on Thames, like I said yesterday, for his inability to get these players to perform in the box and to change situations by changing up your approach to the plate, well, I'm gonna call you out too, Matt Wise. Why is he throwing just pure number ones? Why can't you mix up any of his other pitches he's been working on? Trust the kid to get those over for strikes as well. Well, you hung him out to dry, Matt. You hung him out to dry, philosophy. 1 inning pitched today, 2 runs allowed, 3 hits. He gave up that home run. All runs earned. He got a strikeout, though. His ERA's at 6. That doesn't matter. Bachman, another guy out there, 2 innings pitched, but he labored, 4 walks, so that's nothing you could look and say, hey, he had a great appearance. Like, no, he struggled. Webb out there, 2/3 of an inning. Obviously, the 1 hit was the grand slam to Bregman. So he made Sandoval. Sandoval's like, hey, thanks, buddy. You just blew up my ERA. His ERA is now 4.14. 3 1/3 pitched, and he will get your Nacho Night award tonight because 3 1/3 pitched, 6 earned runs. Thank you very much, Webb, for the grand slam. 8 hits allowed, 6, like I said, earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Too many pitches thrown. Too many pitches thrown again for Sandoval. He's not getting out of his own way either. He's a much better pitcher than this. But this will be now 4 consecutive losses for Sandoval. And, again, he pitched great in the last 3 games. But, again, you're not pitching longer into games as you should because you're throwing way too many pitches and not trusting your stuff. And a lot of that comes down to Matt Wise not preaching that. That's been more than 2 starts. This should be corrected already, or there should be more aggressive pitching. But, again, Matt Wise, now the spotlight is on you. And I'm almost to a point that when we talked into this conversation, before I get into comments real quick, the box score, which is AKA Randy, told me, and along with Fernando, we were talking about it, and he made a good point. And he said it the other night, too, on the postgame, that you literally there's one guy on this team that's literally gotten a pass because of what happened last year with the pitching being as dominant as it was. The only key thing on this team, everyone was distracted and didn't freaking get into Matt Wise and didn't, say that this guy's not all that good. He did say, though, he does provide some good teaching and comes out at certain times to calm pitchers down. But, hey, that's his job. And he's done some good things and everything else like that, but there are some glaring issues. And I think that's what the problem is. Last year we thought just fix the hitting, this team would flourish and take off. Now because that's why I put the poll. I'm perplexed. I don't know exactly what to put the blame on. Or do we make one of those Spider-Man memes where it's the hitting, it's the pitching, it's the coaches, and it's Artie, and they're all pointing at each other? Because that's what it feels like right now. That's what it feels like. I don't know who. Or is it that to where it's everyone's fault? And because I want to just sit here and say it's Wise's fault, it's Thames' fault, or it's philosophy, or it's the hitters being divas and lazy, or it's the pitchers not listening, or something or it's Artie just being terrible, or Devil Artie. But I don't know who to point the finger at, or do we just, like I said, Spider-Man meme it and just be like, it's everybody's fault? I just don't know. And that's the frustrating thing. This team is fixable. But real quick, before I go to the comments, I think Roger has explained it good because now that we're 500, we're 0-0, baby. The season starts tomorrow.
Anymore. I just can't. And they can fire me if they want.
Please fire him.
I can't sit around and listen to negative phone call after negative phone call. If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up with Sosha's got to go. It's this guy's fault. It's that guy's fault. Forget it. Let it go. We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Do you believe that guy? Let it go. Just let it go. Don't worry that your hard-earned money, your time to watch this team, Just let it go. Who gives a shit, right? We're 0-0. The season starts tomorrow. There's 102 games left. Just let it go. 60 games in, you're 30-30, 4.5 out of the wild card, 8 games now out of the lead. Let it go. That's the guy who owns or is getting paid. I think it's something upwards to $1.3 million a year. He gets $1.3 million a year to shove that shit down your throat and in your ear. That guy tells you how to fandom. That guy tells you, hey, calm down. It's September. We're 12 games out with 13 to play. There's a lot of season left. That guy. Yeah, let that sink in. Jason Hess says, Todd, emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Box score says close but no cigarro. Nah-Man says disgraceful. 69% completely done with the Angels season, Hayes says. Jason says Angels have the measles in Houston. Only Renifo and Ohtani showed up in this game, Ryan says. Justin Option says, alrighty, we won again. Let's go Angels. Anyone still want to make a Ben Joyce as a starter? Does he even have an off-speed pitch? He does, but you wouldn't know it. Matt Y says, no. Also, it's not backwards day, Justin Option. Trout is either regressing on playing, not to get hurt. How is the hitting not winning when we literally can't drive runners in? Exactly. You put them on just to leave them there. Also, Jason says Joyce has scared to throw another off speed because the McCormick did. That one wasn't off speed, by the way. That was a fastball. Hate that audio. You guys love. You mean this one? Because that's new to the soundboard. It's here to stay, by the way. I think you guys like that. Anyone please buy Bally's. Anyone, and change everything, please. Could care less if Ohtani would hit for the cycle. And here's the thing, Hayes. Bally's would just say, just like they did on the road trip when we lost those games, it's like, hey, player of the game, Ohtani. But we lost. You lost it. You don't see me giving the Stamos out to when we lose the game to Angel players only. Bally's is, forget the score. Who cares about the score? Yeah, we lost 7-1, but Trout's home run in the third inning, that really got the offense going, and we lost 7-1. No, you give it to the best player on the fucking field. Like the other night, it was the umpire in game one. He deserved it. He helped the Houston Astros win. So, I mean, that's how it works. We don't just give it willy-nilly just to an Angel player just because they wear the red. Come on. XNC says, I'm tired of hearing about the big game and BGM, then hearing, Patrick O'Neill talking. All Angel, or Bally Sports thing right there. All Angels fans want the W's. Justin Option says, Ben is not going to get it done in the MLB. Only fast balls, balls, and balls. Yeah, what was he talking about here?
I was pretty cocky. I want balls and John Stamos.
How could they afford that song? Box score says, balls, balls, and Artie Moreno. There's another one.
Tonight, it's time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Angels get bankrupt by Bally Sports curse. Box score says, someone buy me food so I can eat my feelings away. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm right there with you. It's your boy says, literally, Artie, it all starts with Artie. Shake my head. When will people realize that he is the vampire, to be honest? And, you know, that's the thing. That's why we were all super happy that dude was gone. The pitchfork was there. He's gone. We're gonna shovel dirt on him. It's over. We already dug the grave. But no, he just arises out to suck the blood out of everybody and their wallets. Jason says, I want to lay down and watch Man versus Food just make me feel better. Hitting is definitely the biggest problem, box score says. We can drive in runs. We cry about it every night. Or we can't drive in runs. Fernando says, listening to the Angels lose on my AirPods on while watching the Rangers smoke Seattle was a new low. You did it to yourself, buddy. I'm sorry. The box score says, Artie isn't the batters in the batter's box every night with runners in scoring position. True. Thyssen Trout fucked it all up tonight. Landon says, box score also says, Phil Nevin and Perry can't hit for these guys with runners in scoring position. These guys suck. It's fucking terrible, and that's being generous. I'm right there with you. Mike Trout coming up clutch again. Not. It's your boy says Yankees also struggle at times heavily with Judge in the 2 spot in the playoffs. Yeah, in the playoffs, that guy disappears. Your so-called MVP, your so-called better hitter right now, he really blows in the postseason. But then again, Yankee fans will say, well, when are we going to see Trout there? When are we going to see Ohtani there? Shut the fuck up. Also, I've seen more clutch hitting in T-ball games. Exactly, box score. Just ask Mateo. His team is more clutch. Hunter's team is more clutch. People saying Ward is waking up are Ward believers. To be honest, laugh a lot. I notice Angels Twitter is in love with Ward. Yeah, for some reason. Cal State Fullerton guy. It's been one of those decades, box score says. We would lose to the Savannah Bananas. Hey, I like watching the Bananas, Nats fan says. Also, Bregman's home run would have only been a homer in one major league stadium outside of that one. Baseball gods hate us. Exactly. I'm telling you, they get whatever they need whenever they need it. Sonia, I'm sure that's a lot better than watching the shit that we watch on a nightly basis with the Halos. What's studying film, he says. Hey, at least Joso threw a no-no in his debut. Oh, that means it gets a Bally theme. Hey, remember last night when we lost 9-5? Yeah, JoJo did this. Also, how many times in this series did we have the bases loaded? A bunch of times. And did you catch what Wayne said too? He said, hey, all we got to do is get the bases loaded. The Angels have been crushing it with the bases loaded. Really? What has he been watching? I've seen a gang of times where the Angels get the bases loaded and ground ball the third. He throws the second for one, on to first, double play, inning over. Ground ball to short, 6, 4, 3, end of the inning. That's what I've heard. Or hey, bases loaded, fly ball in the outfield, too shallow to score a run. Hasselman's holding the runner, 2 outs. Next batter, swing and a miss. That ends the inning. He strikes out on 3 pitches. Helmet still flapping around in the wind. That's what I know about the Angels baseball with bases loaded. Trotter here says, thank you, Todd, for being here every single post-game win or lose. Well, you know what, Trotter here, as quickly as you say that, I won't be on tomorrow. Family day tomorrow, so I appreciate the comment. But I'm here most of the time. Most of the time. Hopefully we'll have someone fill in for me tomorrow. I don't know if we will or not. Focus Media says, the core issue with this organization... Too early for a phone call. The core issue with this organization is the coaching staff. It has been since Socha left. There is a huge gap in fielding, pitching, and plate discipline. Now, see, that's if you're going to come with a vote, that's a good comment to focus it with back, because I like the fact that he got into the fact that the huge gap between fielding, pitching, and plate discipline. I think we all got tired of Socha towards the end, but once he was gone and the shit that's replaced him, we would love him back for many reasons. And that's just the point. We always think the grass is greener on the other side. When the team was going down, we blamed Socha. It was management. It was the general manager. It was the scouting. It was the ownership. It really wasn't Socha. We forced things on him that he didn't want to do. And so with him wanting to just keep it in the old school way, obviously the game passed him by. It's another reason why Socha hasn't been hired. It's not that he retired. No one will hire him because he doesn't want to get into analytics. You have to dip your feet in the analytics water. That's the only reason why Dusty Baker keeps his job. He found the right balance. But getting back to what he said, when is the last time you've seen a good defensive team out of the Angels? Last time Socha coached. You didn't see it with Osmus. You didn't see it with Smokin' Joe. And you're not seeing it here with Philosophy. You're just not seeing it. The defense was always something, and plate discipline that Socha preached. I'm glad you came up with that. They hit into way too many double plays, Nats fan says. Yeah, they are second overall. Double plays, 60, I want to say they're at 60 or just below 60, and Miami, they're only 4 back of them. Hit a double or so. It's your boy. Again, way too early for phone calls. This whole team is trash, Ezra says. Also, give me that Beat Boys band, Free My Soul, Want to Get Lost in the Rock and Roll Land, Drift Away. 6-man rotation clearly not working. Make it 5, Jim says. Back to basics, bunt, steal, singles, duh. And I think that is something that we want to tell Philosophy, because he seems like a dumbass. And we're not going to be winning unless we get back to that kind of stuff. Dusty Baker getting payback for 2002 and is owning our sorry bitch asses. That is so true, but that is a honk comment. Jim says DFA Manassian. The biggest problem is clutch hitting and no shutdown innings. That is something too. I mean, when you finally get those big RBIs, you can't even hold it for 5 minutes. The Bally Sports, intro that I played several times plays longer and more times than us holding a lead. We can't even hold it a half inning. It's sort of like when we score a couple runs, automatically, how we'll go into the dugout and get our gloves and go back out in the outfield. The other team's like, well, we're going to score some runs here. The Angels just scored. Because it will be literally quiet for 4 innings. The other team not doing a damn thing. We actually score some runs, and I don't know if it's the pitchers being too cocky or whatever it is. They changed their mindset, but we don't get aggressive. It seems like as soon as they come up to the next bat, and we just got back in the game, we're walking the first guy. Just like Ben Joyce did several times before this one. We walk the first or second or third guys. We start giving up hits, and then it's hell in a handbasket again. Watching good team just shows we just aren't it, Todd. We're not going anywhere, dude. Victor Rojas for GM, as it should have been. Jim says, I thought I was the only one that says shit fucks. Andrew Smith says, stop yelling, you're scaring my son. I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm sorry, but this show, if you wanna keep following, you're gonna have to keep either kids with earmuffs or you're gonna have to make sure there's no crying, because there's no crying in baseball.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Tell the little man to man up. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. But that's what we do on this show. Turn down the radio then. I don't know. Also, Nahman says Theis was calling because Ben was shaking his head yes or no. Yeah, he couldn't tell. He's a dude, that's throwing number 1. He's shaking his head no, and then Joyce is like, what do you mean? You just told me to throw it. And he's all, yeah, no, don't throw. Yeah, no, dude, don't throw. Yeah, throw the ball. And he's like, what the fuck? Philosophy should be on a T-shirt. Nevin with the googly eyes, exactly, with a definition on the back. Eric says this team is fucked. I know it's only 3 games, but this series is just a microcosm of everything that is wrong with this organization. Until Artie sells the Halos, nothing will change. And honestly, I don't see a return this offseason of, will Artie sell? And then I don't see the whole, I'm exploring ideas again. It's just going to be over. Jim says, horrible, rationable by recent Manassian interview. Gee, why not comment on Loop? Exactly. Matt Wise is trash, the box score says. Trouter here says, why does this team stumble every single fucking year? Never consistent and hardly ever getting into a win streak. Exactly. When you win 1 or 2, maybe 3, take 5 games off. It's so bad there is no single reason at all above, Todd. Ooh, Don, might be right there. The problem starts from the top and trickles down. I like that comment, Yolanda. Also, the box score says, why is this trash? He can't get hits with runners in scoring position either. That's the most glaring issue with this team, and it's been for 2 months. Jason Hess, well, I know where you're voting. Jason Hess says it's like Oprah. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's everyone's fault. The A's, time to become the A. I don't think we can suffer through that. Don says Mike Trout is a fucking joke. I'm over that clown. The season starts tomorrow, Justin says. It's more like they coin flip it at the start of the game. Heads, it's Wise' turn to suck. Tails, Thames, your night to sit on ass and do nothing. Nah, man says Mike Trout said it, and the Angels for sure should be able to compete against a team of the Astros caliber. We've been in a lot of ball games. We've had a lot of chances in a lot of ball games. Just fell short. It's a long season. Obviously, we got to start picking it up. That is courtesy of Sam Blum. Thank you. That's super right there. Yes, they've got to pick it up. But again, that's a cop-out comment. That's hey, you throw me a tough question, I'll throw you a softball right back at you. That is not going to sum up anything. Yeah, you can play with these guys because you're a major league team. Are you playing with these guys? No. And on the field, it's very, very. You can tell. I mean, it's very. You can see it. It's so predictable. Base hit, double play, triple, pop up, strikeout. I don't get happy when we get a hit because I know we won't score, and that's the sad thing. When you're already looking down on us, man. When you're already looking down at things, not thinking that we're going to do something, that you've been turned from a honk into a anti-honk, and it's because of the play on the field. Ezra says the Astros own us. This team is frauds. Trout here says our broadcasters even suck, our promos suck, managers suck, and our owners suck. This team is cursed. They sure are. And, this team has us either playing this song. When we watch them, or we play this one.
Yeah, Mo, that team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Yeah, that's us talking about the Angels in the morning. This franchise is all about accepting mediocrity. We're not meant to be competitive. It's just it's just about look over here. We have Trout and Ohtani. Give me your money. Shut up and enjoy mediocrity. Darth says that's pretty much what it is. Already the STD you can't get rid of. Now that should be on a shirt. How many times do we have a batter 0-2 and give up a hit? There's another problem. Another problem I didn't even get into. You saw that with our boy Sandoval today. 0-2, he has strikeout stuff, and he's hanging one right down the middle. Why? Every other team makes us, swing and miss at shit in the dirt or above our head. We're just like, hey, here it is, hit it. That's like 2K stuff. That's freaking MLB The Show stuff. What are we doing? That's like when you're playing your little brother and you're like, man, he's just throwing me fastballs. I fouled off the first two. I'm going to crush this 0-2 pitch. He ain't going to throw you anything like out of the zone. He's just going to try to get it down the middle because he doesn't know how it works. Ward went to Fresno State. Don't take that away from Fresno State. Oh, well, he went to Fresno State. My bad. Let's see. Angels go well with a glass of champagne. Champagne. Trout here says the sad part is what is it? As we all be the next day going to games, hoping and praying that this team starts winning. It's getting old. Even wearing the gear is embarrassing. It is tough to do. I mean, look at us, and if you don't want to look at what you go through, look at us for a minute. We've been trying for the last 3 years to actually follow and support a winning team. We haven't. We've built whatever we've got, no matter how big or small you think it is, on a losing team. We really thought that we were going to turn the corner this year. The team would win. It would attract more fans. It would be funner to do these games. We'd have a bigger blast. We'd have bigger people coming to our events. We thought, man, this is going to be great. It's all going to be good. We can enjoy finally winning baseball together as a Halo fan. And we're a Halo fan, win or lose. But it's always been lose. So, like, we wanted to be in the thick of things. We wanted important games in late August and September. And again, you look at it right now, 30-30. You still say there's 102 games left, Todd. But do you see things magically fixing themselves? I don't. And it's sad because I want to be that Halo Honk guy. I want to be, at least right now, being able to tell you, yes, we have a chance. We're going to get back into this. Everything's going to be all right. Stick through the process. You know what I mean? I want to be that guy that tells you,
Crispy socks.
no, not crispy socks. That's the wrong one. I want to tell you to keep your composure, but I also want to tell you that where did I leave that one? I had the right one. I was setting it up. Oh, this one.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, I want to tell you that we have a chance, but not really. Not really. Also, Nats fan says Dusty Baker has always cared about his players and team before himself. Part of it is why he's been so successful and the players love him. We're the worst in average against two-strike counts, Nah Man says, but we also give the best to the other team. Johnny B. Good says Angels are experts at ping pong, hitting baseball, nothing but ground balls and into the infielders. I blame all the honks for thinking that we could sweep the Astros. I just asked for the one win. That's it. Marty, you may or may not get that tomorrow. Not phone calls yet. I will tell you when. Ohtani, the Japanese nightmare you can't contain. Grillmaster's getting awfully close to being racist. Trotta here says, instead of playing Calling All Angels, let's play the Bad News Bears or circus music, show all the double plays and blown saves. So, see, that would actually be funny. I would get there very early. Chris Davinsky is also, I don't care if he's a Cal State Fullerton. I don't care. Can he pitch? Can he hit? That's all I care about. My cat Angel had snip surgery this week and still has more balls than most of these guys. I agree, and I'm not gonna call that out at all. Dusty Baker is a good manager. I read the Astros fans' comments. Ha 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 ha, Grill Master. Ha 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 ha. You're lucky I answer everything. Just think Dusty Baker took over a team after a cheating scandal and has the team winning. Exactly. Dusty Baker does it all. I mean, remember when he took over the Reds? Everyone's like, why is he taking over the Reds? I don't know, to get him to the playoffs, and he did that. Well, you know, he took the Giants job. I thought he was a Dodger. Well, he didn't give a shit. He took the Giants in there, no, he didn't win a World Series, almost won a World Series, made him relevant before Bochy took them over. Sim says, hate the Astros, but I'm a Dusty Baker fan. So am I. I guarantee you if he were our skipper, we'd be playoff bound. Hell, Alex Cora had our talent, we'd be playoff bound. Nevin's IQ can't match up. And that's the thing, too. Real quick. I really feel that is a huge problem with this team. Is the manager. I mean, take away Artie and everything else that goes along with it, but how the manager rules this team is how we say how the lineup hits is how the rest of or how Trout and Ohtani hit is how the rest of the lineup will hit. It should be the supporting cast. Well, it's the same thing with the manager. If we don't have a leader in the clubhouse as far as a player, we need a leader like a manager, Dusty Baker. Because I could look over the Astros and they probably have Altuve as a leader, Tucker's a leader, you know, Pena could be a leader as young as he is. Guys will listen to Alvarez. Guys will listen to, I mean, they have a bunch of players who could step up, and you don't look over that team and they don't look lost. They look like they always have their shit together. They're always ready to play. They always have the good personalities, even when they had Springer. Call them whatever you want. Call them cheaters, call them whatever. They bang on drums, everything else like that. Last year's World Series can't be called into question. They won it straight up. And guys like Bruce Bochy, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He took over a Texas team, which is almost the same roster outside of 3 starting pitchers and Will Smith. It's basically the same fucking roster. And some of the young kids being pulled up. Chris Woodward couldn't get them out of 4th or 5th place. Yet, in one season, Bruce Bochy's got them to the second best record in all of baseball. Coincidence? Nope. Not whatsoever. He gets the most out of his players. He put in a plan. He put in the implementation of small ball and fundamentals and the what is it called? The onus. He put the onus on fundamentals and discipline and not making errors. All the stuff that we forgot that Socha did. So it can happen. I mean, we've seen it a couple years ago. Buck Showalter got the Mets relevant again. Guys, you know, when he was in Baltimore, did the same thing. These guys may have, you know, short-term, you know, they're not long-term managers like Socha. But the thing is, when they take over, they demand respect right away. And I think Dusty Baker, again, I'll harp on it till the day I die. This dude has the perfect balance. Like, if you want a manager, I would suggest interviewing Baker, not to get him out of there because he's signed, but just to say, hey, man, what makes you tick? What did you tell the Astros organization to sell them on hiring you? And what did you say that you can offer? And I would take what he said, and if a manager came anywhere close to saying what he said, you're hired. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Because he has the perfect balance of, just like you guys have been saying, players coach. But when he has to be a hard ass, he's a hard ass. When he has to rely on his gut, he relies on his gut. When he has to rely on analytics, he relies on his analytics. Open door guy. Talks to the media. Not scared for the hard questions. Owns up to it when they blow games. I mean, he's like and his focus, discipline, fundamentals, that's why he's a world champion. He's a great manager. An absolute great manager. So it's part of it, the organization. The organization has to give him the right things to do or the right players to be put in place. But if you're fielding a team, don't tell me Texas has fielded the best team. They have Andrew fucking Heaney in their freaking rotation. Guys that, Eovaldi, DeGrom, guys who get perennially injured all the time. However, he's getting the best out of all those guys because he puts them in the right situations. Bochy does his job, man. I mean, look, they reach the playoffs or they don't. The fact that the Rangers are relevant again, he's AL Manager of the Year. Tell me who else is better. You could say Tampa. You could say they're winning with a Randy Rosarina and a bunch of other nobodies, but then again, they've been putting together that team for a while quietly. It seems like everyone every year forgets about, they always talk Toronto, New York, Boston. They always forget about Baltimore and Tampa. And guess who's in first and second? Two teams that quietly go about their business and do the right thing and have a clear way of doing things, and they stick to it. They have a direction. We don't. Texas was lost at sea, just like us. Happy to have a new stadium, signing guys for ridiculous contracts, Simeon and what's his name, the greatest player of all time. You sign guys like that are like, why did they do that? They didn't need those guys. But then they used the right amount of youth movement. They hired Bruce Bochy and got a new general manager, and presto changeo, over 1 year. Over 1 year. One off season. Well, that must be great to be able to do that, right? Must be just great to flip a switch and all of a sudden you're good. Because, again, we put more money into this franchise, into this team, into the players, but the wrong players, the wrong coaches, and we don't get no results. That's where we're at. I'm going on the 20th to see the Dodgers try to here. Good luck. Don't forget your bulletproof vest. James says balls, and Phil Nevin. So that always, the balls always gets a reference to.
Tonight, it's time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Let's take the bench coach from the Astros, Joe Espada, seeing that we can't get Dusty. Anyone at this point. Let's look at the poll real quick. So far, the poll, the biggest issue with the Angels, 17% of you said pitching, 28% of you said hitting, management at 35%, Artie at 20%. So I think it's all time to fire all the coaches. And that's the thing. You can't fire them all in 1 year. So we'd have to be stuck with Thames. We'd have to be stuck with all these, what's it called? Matt Wises of the world. You can fire them in the offseason, and that's what should have happened. You should be able to fire these managers and then go for the what do you call it? And go for the what do you call it? The new manager to bring in his own staff. And I swear to God, here's the thing. You do me one favor on the comments. Number one. If I don't read yours, it's because either it's a bad joke, Grill Master, or like I'm trying to catch up on other shit, or it's similar to another comment. So don't just say, you're not reading my that annoys the hell out of me. Please don't do that, because I swear to God, I will block you for at least a game. I don't want to do that to anybody unless they go racial or personal on somebody. So I'm not saying you're being racist, Grill Master. I'm just saying you're just going too many times, and sometimes I'm trying to get into a point or whatever. So stop taking it so legit. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't read your comment. I'm just saying. So you are one of the originals, so of course I read your comments. So let's read your comments then. Do you think the youth movement on our team is a bad thing? No, I like it, but they're going to take their lumps. Everyone's expectations are way too high sometimes for a guy like Joyce. Hunter Renfroe, the guy you forgot is a football player. Exactly, you're not reading my comments, Todd. We just got Thames. Keep him anybody but Sereno. No, I say the jury's out on him. These guys are still making too many fuck-ups in the freaking box. Bobby Valentine, Trouter here says, that would be a guy I would have fill in just for the end of the year. Marty says DFA Grillmaster. Oh, I should make that a post since he likes to DFA everybody. Okay, now you can call in. 714-598-3221. 714-598-3221. Yes, I did forget about Corey Seager, the greatest hitter of all time. I always forget about that guy. Supra.
If you have small children in the car, I would suggest you hit the eject button, or you tell them you're off, please, because in 5 minutes, again, another stupid, inexcusable.
He's not wrong. Another stupid fucking loss.
3 times in a row. Brought to you by what?
I said brought to you by the Los Angeles Angels. It should be the Anaheim Angels, in my opinion, but brought to you by the Anaheim Angels.
Yep. Another stupid loss. Another one that could be. So now you're playing that one too. Okay. Oh man. So what do you got on this one, man? I mean, what you saw pitches up in the zone again today that were hit on 0-2, 2 out hits, and then our hitting just again leaving too many guys on base.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. Like they need to change their approach. Like if you have like someone on third with one or only 0 or 1 out, we need to try to hit a fly ball. Like out, maybe try to hit a home run. I don't know, because if it's not a home run, but it's pretty deep enough, that's an RBI. But
it's
just bad.
The only guy, Supra, that was actually doing that consistency is a guy that everybody hates. You know, Rendon was up there, and again, he leads the team in RBIs, sacrifice RBIs. He has 15 of his 20 RBIs were sacrifices. And so a lot of people laugh at that, but it's like at least he's up there knowing that, hey, man, if I hit it on the ground, there's a chance of a double play. I don't run very fast. Let me at least try to, like you said, get it to the outfield. And he does. You know, and he still gets shit for that. I will defend him every day when it comes to that, because at least when he's got runners in scoring position, he's getting them in.
Yeah. The only complaint I have about Rendon is his health. Last week, he said he's going to be ready today. Now now we don't know when he's going to be ready. But other than that, he's been pretty good today. Chunk's comment.
Okay.
What?
No, go ahead.
Chunk's comment, man. He needs to stop just saying words like, we need to win, man. We can compete. Like, he's not. Okay, you say you're gonna compete, but you're not actually competing. You're striking out a lot. We're not getting runners. We're not scoring. Ohtani, Ohtani, he tries his best to improve, but sometimes it doesn't go his way. But Mike Trout, man, it's just not been very good this year, for his standards at least.
Yeah, he's been well off of what he's capable of, and again, we need Trout to be hitting. You know, we need him to get back to where he was a couple years ago, or even last year down the stretch. You know, but just, you know, because he was hitting doubles and singles and home runs, and that's not the problem. You know, he still almost finished in an injury-plagued year with a pretty decent amount of RBIs. You know, we need him to get back to that, but it just seems like whatever's happened this year, whatever they're trying in the box or extra batting practice, it's not working. So he's been lackadaisical for us. So
yeah, our coaching staff is horrendous, including the minor leagues. And so I've heard this one pitcher in the minor leagues complaining how horrible the technology was in the minor leagues system for the Angels. So I don't think it's too good up here in the majors as well. Just saying.
Well, we have a lot of people that have told us things on the inside, and I'm sure Fernando will get to it at some point because he has a couple guys on the inside on the Angels organization, also in the minors. So, and who have played with the Angels as well. So I'm pretty sure on one of these podcasts coming up here soon, you're going to hear some stories or at least hear some truths about our organization compared to others. And it's going to be pretty eye-opening. I know a little bit of it, and the little bit that I know and the stuff that we revealed about the minor league system last year, it's very eye-opening and very disheartening that a major league team would treat its organization the way that we do. So there's that.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's already obvious our hitting and pitching coach is horrendous. Look at Brandon Morse, for example. Look, he sucked here at the Angels. I mean, he was good defensively, but hitting, he was not that good. But look at him now at the Phillies. Massive difference.
Yeah, and there's just not him. There's plenty of players that have come through here, veterans or young kids or whatever, and they always flourish other places. It's rare when we take someone from another team and they actually do good. We had that in Moniac, but real quick philosophy was like, hey, nope, you're too good. Bench. So.
Yeah. Joe Odell is going to be real good, I think, once he goes to another team. I already can tell.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking the same exact thing. I think he's going to go to like a central team and just tear it up. Watch.
Yeah, Ben Joyce should throw a sweeper. With that arm angle, that's going to be nasty as hell, bro, I think.
No, I agree. In any situation, any one of those at-bats that I think he faced 5 or 6 batters, he did not throw anything off speed. It was just number one. It was like there was no other finger that freak. It's like if Theis chopped off his other 4 fingers. He just had the one index finger, and he just kept saying number one. And again, these guys will catch up to it. So.
Yeah. That 103-mile-an-hour fastball, that was pretty impressive, but all I have to do is, like, hit it because it's high velocity.
Well,
actually, fun fact.
Yeah, well, why do you think Chapman is so unhittable at times? Because he mixes his pitches up so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has a splitter, he has a slider, but Ben Joyce only has a fastball, and yeah, it might look good for like a couple of pitches, but once you only throw that, people are going to catch up to it, especially with the good coaching staff the Astros have, and they're going to hit it far. And one fact, the pitching velocity was actually faster than the exit velocity, which is pretty rare, actually.
Yeah, it is, and he has 3 pitches, but again, he didn't utilize the other 2. So I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
By the catcher or the coaching staff. But all right, Super, I got to take a couple more phone calls. I appreciate the call, bro. Likely we'll talk on Monday because I don't think I'm going to be here doing a show tomorrow. So.
All right, but go Angels, though. We need to win tomorrow.
Yeah, we do, bro. Have a good one.
You too, bro. Bye.
All right, that's Super right there. Now, next up, whoever wants to call in right now, 714-598-3221 is the number to call in. I'm pretty sure we had Landon call in a couple times, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be next up. Unless your boy calls in.
I know that, dude.
He's got to give us some sort of update about his partying and his Shirley Temples and everything else like that. As far as tomorrow's probable starters, before I get another call, Jay France, who's 1-1 coming in, very little experience. He's going to be getting the start tomorrow versus Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning's been pitching a lot better, but now we're asking a guy to stop a losing streak, and we're putting a lot of pressure on him. Griffin Canning coming off the 7 innings pitched the other day. But, yeah, I mean, when you lose with your 2 best pitchers back-to-back and it's not even close, and Reed Detmers doesn't give you that great of a start either, a 3-game losing streak seems like a 7-game losing streak with Canning coming in. And then we have to talk about who we're going to be throwing against Chicago with a day off on Monday. Or actually, I'll be talking to you guys on Tuesday. If we don't get any more calls, then we'll just jump off for today. So I know, like I said, Landon, I'm sorry. You were trying to call when we weren't ready. So you got to wait for us to be ready. That's how we do things on here. And yesterday we had like 10 or 11 calls, so that's why that show went 2 hours. This one's about at 1:15. But again, I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to try to have someone fill in for me. It's kind of hard with James not being able to do it. And then Fernando's got a busy schedule. I was hoping Dominic would jump in. Since I got a minute real quick, stay tuned for this week. We will be giving away a family 4-pack of tickets for September for June 10th. This upcoming Saturday, next Saturday, we'll have tickets for the Angels and Mariners if you want to check that out. Also, on that very same day, we'll be at Noble L Works. We'll be having drink discounts, raffles with trivia. There's games to be played, and we're going to be hanging out doing a live pregame, postgame, and a watch party during the game. So if you don't have tickets to the Mariners game, come out there. It's free parking, too. So even if you are going to the Mariners game, you can park in Noble L parking, mention Heedy, and walk your ass over to freaking the stadium for free. You don't have to pay him $20. You don't have to pay Artie $20. It's totally free to park in the parking lot. It's a 5-minute walk to the stadium off of Catella, and there you go. And then on the 9th, which is the day before this upcoming Friday, will be me and Dominic in the freaking studio, and we will be doing a live watch party of the first game of that series with the Mariners. Instead of having to watch Bally's and listen to that din over and over and over and have to be subjected to listening to the shitty Patrick O'Neill, you will be able to listen to our voices and see our ugly mugs here in the studio watching the game live, and then plus you're able to see on the screen on YouTube, because you could just hit the mute button on your TV or your phone or whatever, however you watch the games from your whatever device. Mute the screen and then have us turned up on your phone, and we're going to be live with Apple. We're going to have the Apple TV stuff here on the on my TV live, so we have no problems watching it and staying in tune with the game. And there you go. It'll be much better to watch the game through us, I think, and you'll hear our commentary live, and we'll be doing a post game together too with you right there. So we'll probably start the pregame. I think it's a 6:30 start, so we'll do a 6 o'clock pregame here in the studio live for about 30 minutes, shoot the shit with you, preview everything coming up, and then we'll do the game starting from first pitch all the way through on Friday to the postgame show, and then we'll do a live postgame show here, and you guys can call in. It'll be very, very interactive. We may have something to give away that night too, so stay tuned for that. I'll announce that around Wednesday, because I'm trying to save some stuff for next Saturday when we're live, and we can possibly hand out some shirts and stuff like that. So good things to come. The only thing that would match what we are doing here on Heedy is if this team would actually win, which they can't. It's the Halo Honk line.
Hey, Todd.
What's up, Landon? How you doing, man?
Nothing much. Just really pissed that Feisty Poo threw the game away.
Yeah, Thicey didn't have the greatest game tonight, but I can't crap on him too much. He's been all right lately.
Yeah, Drury did all right tonight. I expected wild work from him in the ninth.
Oh, gnarly!
Yeah, I mean, he's getting singles, but it doesn't justify him being in the 4th spot. I just don't like it.
One that we can crap on, though, because, back in the early 2000s, 2015 or something like that, he was referenced as a guy who hit dinger after dinger. Old Trouty. Hold on. Trouty. Swinging that ball down in the dirt is a guy who we can crap on.
Yeah, he's not been consistent at all this season. Again, we needed him to return to last year's August and September, or whenever he came off the injury list. He was red hot. We need something like that. We need Ohtani to have better at bats, because again, as terrible as Ohtani looked in the first 2 games of this series, he looked really good tonight. I mean, he was squaring up the ball, so at least he did his homework before this game. But again, guys are still whiffing and just missing, and we're not getting any inconsistency, especially with runners in scoring position.
And you can watch my number if you want, but we have to stay positive. Fire and Evan. It's this guy's fault. It's that guy's fault. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. Season starts tomorrow. And if you don't have a positive phone call, stay off the line.
Exactly. I mean, that's Roger, and like I said the other night, give me an hour on AM 830 and watch me dwarf his ratings. I could bring in a lot more people and have people actually respect. I mean, they'd hate me at first because there's a lot of honks that listen to that station. So I would get a lot of hate, but I think after a while, if you give me a few opportunities at it, I guarantee I could top his ratings, because people are tired of being shoveled fake shit. They're tired of saying, hey, man, this is not a turd, it's a polished turd. And it's not like we want to rip this team. We want this team to be better, but I can't sit here and talk about a team that routinely loses and say that they're so great. I can't do it. I have to be honest with you and honest with myself and be like, man, this team needs this and needs that. There's glaring issues here, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's what it is. I think you have too many people that are on the Bally's and freaking AM 830 that just want you to believe this is a playoff caliber team as it sits right now, and it's not.
But we have Trout, Ohtani, Ward, Walsh, and Rendon. good-looking players.
Yeah. Hey, they look good, and they're both positive.
Yeah, I would just them over. I use my wife every night. Yeah. Now, in other news, UCLA basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
What about those Bruins? Better than the Trojans, right? Or am I right, or am I right?
He's right.
I'm right. I know I am. I'm always right. Because I'm friends with John Stamos.
Yes. Oh, Landon, we have a long season to go still. Still 100 games.
Shut up. The season starts tomorrow.
All right, Landon, I got to get going. It's about 1:20 on the clock. We're going to do dinner here, so good luck tomorrow. Hopefully we get a win, and I'll probably talk to you all on Tuesday.
All
right, brother. See ya. That's Landon right there. Everyone else, have a good rest of your Saturday. At least this game ended where you have something to do on the rest of your Saturday, so don't let this one bug you too much. It's to be expected. It's the freaking Houston Astros. They own us. So play us off as we go into the final segment, as Bally's does when they play you off into anything, whether it be commercial, home run, highlight, whatever, or some sort of useless stat. It's always